Helpmeet. We've got some things to talk about. And it is Helpmeet Tips and Sips time. I'm Yvette Benton, author of the book Help for the Helpmeet, and it is Wednesday evening. So Sundays and Wednesdays, we have some time together to talk about how we're not only going to become suitable, but stay suitable. So thank you for joining me. When you come in, always declare, I'm a Helpmeet suitable. And then tell me, what are you sipping? Because it's not just about the tip. Sometimes it's about the sip. Now, I am having blush. I had blush earlier in the week. And how important is that? Because I've been watching my sugar. And until I finish this glass, I'm going to have to find something that has less sugar. But for now, I'm finishing up the blush bottle. And as you can see, I'm doing much better because normally this would have already been gone. But I am sporting my beautiful hand-painted Helpmeet Tips and Sips glass by none other than Kim McClish. So give her a holler on Facebook if you like hand-painted items, because she's done an amazing job. I have some hand-painted coasters that I put underneath my beautiful glass. Isn't that pretty? I love it. And of course, she did it to match the journal, which I love. So I see people sipping some iced tea, sipping some water. I have sparkling juice, the blush flavor. Maybe I better start sipping a little water. Doesn't sound as much fun. But I still love to see you all declaring you are a Helpmeet suitable. You are a Helpmeet suitable. Well, the title today, oh my goodness. I love to ask God, what are we going to talk about? God, what do we need to work on today? Because being suitable is something that's ongoing. It's seasonal. It changes. It shifts. We got to keep up with it. So I love to say, God, what do we need to work on today? What are we going to talk about today? And only opened up to the front of the book on page 17. Do you have your book and workbook? Now, here's the second question. Did you read your book and workbook? My goodness. Because I meet people and they're like, oh, I really need some help. And I say, do you have my book and workbook? And they say, yes, I ordered it. Well, did you read my book and workbook? Well, most of it. Well, that might be the answer. Go ahead and read it. Fill in the workbook. So that's the question before we get started. All right, put up an emoji if you've finished your copy of Help for the Helpmeet. I'll wait. You know what? While you're telling me whether or not you finished, did you finish your copy of Help for the Helpmeet? First you have to have it. Then you have to finish it. I want to know. I'll wait, because while I'm waiting, I'll sip my sparkling blush. I'm gulping. Yikes. Those weren't dainty sips. Yikes. Hello. Have you finished the book? I want to see an emoji if you have finished the book. Not purchased it. You did. Yes, thank you for the emojis. Got the hand raised. I like that one. Put the hand raised emoji if you finished the book. Because you got to get through it. I know the first couple of chapters will make you want to put it down. I wrote it and I get a little frustrated. Can I just be honest? I wrote it and sometimes when I reread it, it's like, oh, woo. Those first few chapters. These first few chapters, I know. Raise your hand emoji if you finish the book. But the first few chapters, no joke. They're no joke. They will put your flesh under subjection. Just reading it. You need to read it again. Let's do that. Let's do it. At least you're honest. Gotta reread. I'm on my, I don't even know how many times. And I wrote the book. Because sometimes when I reread, I'm like, woo, Yvette. That's a tip right there for you. Okay. So today we're on page 17. Today we're on page 17. Oh, I'm so glad. And someone said they read Bent But Not Broken. Guess what I have right here? Bent But Not Broken. If you need hope to hold on, that right here. Right here. If you need hope to hold on, Bent But Not Broken. Our testimony. We're overcomers by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. That's our testimony right there. That's our testimony, and we're excited about it. And it's on our website, GeraldandYvette.com. Whichever one you need. This one to become a Helpmeet suitable. That one if you need help and hope. Both of them if you need the whole package. Got to do what you got to do. All right. So, I'm looking on page 17. And this is like a big tip. It would be so amazing for more people to get this training before they're married. So shout out to the single ladies who are tapping in. You get a high five. You get a high five because it says on page 17, the role of a helpmeet is so crucial that training should start before we say I do. My Lord. Before we say I do. That's the time for the most training. However, we got to do what we got to do. How many of us have been on the job training? That's me. I was on the job training. When God gave me this revelation, I was already married. Married, separated, got back together, and then I got the revelation. Now, do I suggest to do it that way? No. But if you got to do what you got to do to get what God says you need to get, then go ahead and do it. Then let's do it. So it says, unfortunately, it is usually during turmoil or in counseling sessions that we come to realize that we have not done what was needed to prepare or handle such a monumental task. I mean that sincerely. Being a helpmeet is a monumental task. What did we say I do to? That's the title. Like, Lord, I said I do, but did I really know what I do? What did I do mean? I don't know about you, but I had no idea what God meant when I said I do. But once we say it, or once we feel like we want to say it and we're preparing to be married, then we've got to go all the way. We've said it. We want to say I do, or we've already said I do. So it goes beyond being a wife. Being a helpmeet is lining up with God's will. Being a helpmeet is lining up with God's word. Being a helpmeet is like, oh Lord, what did I say I do to? You said I do to God's will. You said I do to submit. You said I do to unconditional love. You said I do to treating him like a king. You said I do to being a vessel fit for the master's use. That's the one I was loving. He said, Yvette, a helpmeet is a vessel. Let me take a sip on that. A helpmeet is a vessel. Because some of those other things I was a little upset about. Submit it. When I first heard, I wasn't ready. But then I got the understanding. Don't get caught up in all of the things I'm asking you to do. Get caught up in the fact that I can use you. That's what God told me. A helpmeet is a vessel. Don't get caught up in you don't want to do this and you don't want to do that. Focus in on, I'm using you for my use. I'm using you for my glory. I'm using you for purpose. I'm using you for destiny. Now that is something to sip on. God using me? Now that sounds good. So then I started to say, I said I do to God. I said I do to his will. I said I do to his way. What did you say I do to? Now don't think about the negative stuff, But think about the good stuff. It's a monumental task just for God. It's a monumental task lining you up with the Word. It's a monumental task, but a monumental blessing that goes with it. So I choose to say, I said I do to God's will. I said I do to being His vessel. I said I do to my Savior. I said I do. So today, what's your declaration? I said I do to God. I said I do to His will. I said I do to His way. I said I do to His purpose, His destiny. How about we say I do to anything God asks? If you're a Helpmeet suitable, you say I do to anything God asks us to do. Oh yeah, it's monumental, but it's accomplishable in Christ, because we can do all things through Christ. God knew it was going to be big, but He also knew we were going to have to tap into Him in order to get it done. And when we tap into Him, nothing is impossible. So, I'm encouraging you. Don't worry about all the I do stuff that seems negative, that seems difficult, that seems too hard. Say I do to God. Say I do, Lord. I do. I do to be in your vessel. I do. You said I do to God. And that's the most important person to say I do to. Yes, I say I do to anything God asks me to. Happy anniversary, Tabitha. Happy 20th anniversary, Tabitha. Let's celebrate Tabitha. It's her 20th anniversary. That's what we got to celebrate. Helpmeet suitable. So thanks for joining me today. Thanks for having a little sparkling juice blush with me. And remembering to say I do to God. Oh, I like that. Say I do to the covenant. Say I do to my PPK. Say I do. Say I do. It's so important. It's very important. It's all that and more. So when we get a little frustrated, just remember, I know I said I do to my King. And Lord, sometimes I wonder why. And then you remember, I said I do to God and His will. So He's treating you like a vessel. He wants to use you like a vessel. So, suitable helpmeets are vessels fit for the Master's use. So yes, happy anniversary, Tabitha. It's a beautiful thing to be married 20 years. Ask me how I know. I've been married 20 years. So we get excited about marriages. We get excited about celebrating. But 20 years ago, Tabitha said I do. How many years has it been? Oh, let's put up our years. How many years has it been for you? How many years has it been for you? How many years since you said I do? Let's recap and celebrate it. So put up the number of years you've been married. If you haven't been married yet, you'll be preparing to say I do. I'll wait. How many years have you been married? How many years? When did you say I do? 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 12. Yes. 27 years. Love it, love it, love it. 15 years in September. Let's celebrate each other. 5 years. Let's do it. Not married yet, but planning on it, believing God for it. 7 years. Yes. When did you say I do? You became a vessel. 20 years. Yes. So now we got several people doing the 20-year thing. 6 years, 3 years. Let's celebrate one another. And some of you are celebrating, trusting and believing God that He's sending your King. But just remember, what did we say I do to? We said I do to God's will. Thanks for spending time with me. I love my Helpmeet time. I love my Helpmeet time. So we appreciate you joining us. Go to GeraldandYvette.com for resources, information. Do you need your journal? Do you need your book and your workbook? and preparing to say I do. You definitely need that book and workbook. It's a monumental task. Get ready now. Prepare yourself. Know exactly what needs to happen in your role as a helpmeet, and you'll be able to understand what saying I do really means. Thanks for joining me. I'm Yvette Benton of Gerald and Yvette Ministries. Go to geraldandyvette.com for more resources, information, and webinars, books, all kinds of information about one-on-one helpmeet coaching online and mentoring. We'll see you soon. I'll definitely be back Sunday evening at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless, of course, I'm having a sip and I get a chance to come online on a pop-up Sips and Tips. But until then, see you soon.